My name's Daniel Matthews. I'm a software engineer, which means I spend most of my time dealing with things I can explain logically. But what happened in that house on Cedar Street defies every rational explanation I can think of. I bought the place after my divorce, a Victorian fixer-upper built in 1890, sitting on 2 acres just outside Boston. The price was suspiciously low, but I figured it was because of the work it needed. The real estate agent was oddly evasive about the previous owners, just saying they had to relocate suddenly. I should have dug deeper, but I was too focused on getting a fresh start. The first thing I noticed was the smell. Not mold or rot, something metallic, like old pennies. It was strongest in the master bedroom. The home inspector said it was probably rusted pipes behind the walls. I believed him, even though the smell seemed to move around the house, following me from room to room. I'm pretty handy, so I started renovating right away. The previous owners had left everything: furniture, clothes, even family photos, all from different decades, like layers of history just abandoned. In one drawer, I found receipts from 1976. In another, a smartphone from 2019. None of it made sense. The weird stuff started small. Tools would go missing, then show up in rooms I hadn't been in. I'd hear footsteps upstairs when I was working downstairs. I blamed it on the old house settling, but deep down, I knew better. Houses don't settle in ways that sound exactly like someone pacing back and forth. One night, I was updating the electrical system in the attic. I had my LED work light set up, and I was tracing wires through the insulation. The light started flickering, which was impossible. It was battery-powered, brand new. Then I noticed the temperature had dropped dramatically. I could see my breath. That's when I heard something moving behind the boxes in the corner. Not like a raccoon or squirrel. This was bigger, much bigger. I swung my flashlight toward the sound and caught a glimpse of something ducking behind a stack of old trunks. Something pale and human-sized, but moving in a way humans definitely shouldn't move. I backed toward the attic stairs, but they were gone. Where the opening should have been was just more wall, like the stairs had never existed. My flashlight started to dim, and the shadows in the corners began to move. They were crawling across the floor toward me, forming into shapes that looked almost human but wrong. Too many limbs, too many angles. Then I found the journal. It was lying open on a trunk that I swear hadn't been there a second ago. The pages were filled with frantic handwriting, entries from different people, different years. All describing the same thing: the moving shadows, the vanishing exits, the thing in the attic that was never quite visible, but always watching. The last entry was dated 3 days ago, in fresh ink that was still wet. "You're next, Daniel." My flashlight died completely. In the darkness, I heard something breathing. Slow, wet breaths, like someone drowning. It was right behind me. I could feel cold air on the back of my neck, smell that metallic scent stronger than ever. I broke. I ran straight at where the stairs should have been and slammed into the wall. Except I went through it, tumbling down stairs that suddenly existed again. I hit the second-floor hallway hard, scrambled to my feet, and ran. I didn't stop until I reached my car. As I peeled out of the driveway, I looked back at the attic window. There was a face pressed against the glass, not quite human, its features constantly shifting and flowing like smoke. It smiled at me with too many teeth. I went to the town hall the next day, desperate for answers. The clerk pulled the property records, and I felt my blood turn to ice. According to the documents, that house has had 23 owners in the past 30 years. Each one vanished within months of moving in. The clerk showed me a photo from 1891, right after the house was built. In the attic window was that same face, wearing that same horrible smile. I tried to sell the house, but legally, I can't. Because according to every document, every database, every record, I never owned it. I never even viewed it. The address doesn't exist, but I still have the key. And sometimes, late at night, I get texts from my old number that I canceled months ago. They're always pictures of the attic, empty except for those moving shadows. And they're getting closer to the camera every time. Last night, I got one final text. "Coming to visit you soon, Daniel." Now I'm telling this from a motel 6 states away. But I know it doesn't matter how far I run. Because when I look in the mirror now, I catch glimpses of something behind me. Something pale and twisted, wearing a smile with too many teeth. And that metallic smell follows me everywhere.